Welcome to the program. Let's remove Steve Powell from the scene right there so you won't see what he's searching for on the Instagram. Never know what that algorithm might show up. What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. I hope you all are doing well. Thanks for joining, if you did, this morning for Before the Noise. I had a good time with everybody, and we're going to have a good time in this hour of the Chad Prather Show. Plenty to get into. I hope that you got those dancing bananas going. How did we get here dancing bananas? I like to see it. You can float an American flag in there. I don't know about that kind of gay heart that's going on there. That's kind of weird. And dancing bananas kind of weird too, but whatever. Might be a little gay. Blow up the chat, guys, if you have not done so already. Click that little thumbs up down there at the bottom. If you're watching on Rumble or YouTube, if you're watching by way of X, I don't know who watches podcasts on X, but I guess there's a lot of folks that do because I see you. Hit the little heart down there, comment, and talk to the trolls. The trolls love the dopamine hit. They really do appreciate the dopamine hit. If you haven't gotten my book, Born for Meaning, go get that. What's going on up in Portland, Oregon? We're going to talk about that some more today. Our man David Medina was on the ground yesterday, as he has been since the onset of this nonsense going on with the protests against ICE and the bombardment of the ICE facilities. Secretary Kristi Noem was there in town. She was seeing things firsthand. We'll get some interaction from what happened because David was with her, along with our friend Benny Johnson. They got some great content, and I'm looking forward to getting caught up and debriefed. Debriefed like I had anything to do with it. But I want to find out what's happening. If you want to get a Chad Prather Show coffee cup, I think you can go to prathertees.com. I think we still got them over there. I know I got some in the closet. They might as well come to your house, too. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Are you happy? It's a hump day. We're heading on the downhill slide towards the weekend. I'm ready for cooler weather. How about you guys? It has been hot in Texas, and I'm ready for something to break, folks. Ready for something to break. I miss seasons. I don't know that I've ever been in an opportunity where I could enjoy seasons. Just hot. Hot. But you guys are hot. And you know what? I'm looking around at our country, and it kind of feels like we're standing at this moral crossroads. Because got a lot of folks who said, Chad, I'm not really into the Jesus thing. I know you're talking about faith a lot these days, and we want to talk about politics and the chaos and the headlines and all of the culture. Yeah, where's that gotten you? It hasn't gotten you anywhere. I mean, you people like to fight. That's the bottom line, is you just like to fight. People like to argue, and they like to debate people that disagree with them, and that's why social media is like a drug, because we're at a point now where we just want to fight each other. I'm really trying to get us back to that place where we make the right choice at a moral crossroads, because at the end of the day, what you're seeing in our streets is evil, and if you want to overcome evil, you got to have something good. And that's what I'm trying to push people towards. I really do believe, as Andrew Breitbart said, that politics runs downstream from culture, but also culture runs downstream from religion. And if we don't have the right kind of faith in place, we're in trouble. But we're living in that moral crossroads where every sign is sort of pointing a different direction, and people are confused. Most folks are just kind of shrugging it off, and they just follow the crowd. You find your tribe, find your gang, and you just run with them. Yeah, I get it. That's the easy way to flow. But the truth is, if the crowd's lost, following that crowd's not going to get you where you need to be. You might have fun along the way, and you might have your echo chamber where everybody agrees and pats each other on the back and feels good about their messaging. But you got to remember who you are, who you're created to be, and more importantly, I say you got to remember whose you are, because somewhere along the way, too many people of faith, they've kind of forgotten that our role is not just to blend in, it's to stand out. And with all the darkness and the craziness out there, this is why I get up in the morning for free, I might add, and spend an hour doing Before the Noise, is because with the darkness being so prevalent, how much more should the light be shining? We were never called to be quiet observers. And I mean that not just as a Christian or whatever. I mean that as an American. We're living in a collapsing culture. We're not supposed to sit back and watch it fall apart. We're called to be light in the darkness, salt in the decay, truth in the confusion. And America doesn't need a louder outrage. It needs a stronger conviction. It doesn't need more activists. It needs more disciples, people that know the truth, people that can think critically. It doesn't need believers who can just quote the Bible to folks. We need people who can live it out when it costs them something. I think we need men and women who are going to hold the line when everything around them is telling them that it's easier to just compromise. You know, I know that there's a lot of folks who think I just like to come on these things and preach to people. I don't know what in the world I'm doing most of the time. I'm just like a goose that wakes up in a new world every day. I'm making it up as I go. I'm lost as a ball in high weeds half the time, but I know this. Our faith was never meant to be a private comfort. Our liberty and freedom in this country was never meant to be a private comfort. It was meant to be a public witness. I think we should demonstrate liberty on display. And too many of us have turned things like Christianity and our history into a lifestyle brand instead of a life surrendered. And we want to post our verses on the internet and stay silent when the culture mocks the truth behind those verses. You talk about loving people, and some of you don't. I can appreciate that when you say, I don't love anybody. Like my buddy Charlie Diggs posted this morning. He said a couple of years ago that they forced people to stay 6 feet away from us. And I sort of miss those days. But listen, we're living in this fear of backlash of standing up for morality. And not just any morality, biblical morality. I'm calling people to if you'll listen to me, I'm telling you, we got to get back to biblical morality. You know, you can't call yourself bold until boldness has a price tag and there's a sacrifice. And the hard reality is this. This is what we're seeing on the news. Civilization falls whenever virtue fails. And good people go silent. Moral courage is replaced with moral confusion, and people who know better stop living better. That's just as simple as that. And right now, that's the crossroads that I think we're standing at. So the message for us today is very simple. Don't lose your moral witness. Don't let the chaos make you cynical, and don't let the culture make you conform. I want people to truly stand firm and live faithfully and love very deeply. That might sound goofy, but I'm just telling you, we got to get back to love. We got to act with some courage because the world doesn't need another echo chamber or the crowd or community that just follows the path of whichever way feels good. It needs a very clear voice that still believes in truth and justice and family and God. We're not fighting for power. We're standing for purpose. We're not here to dominate culture as much as we're here to redeem it. So our weapon isn't our anger, it's integrity. Our defense isn't politics, it's prayer. Our mission isn't to win arguments, it's to win souls. And I'll tell you something else. America's future doesn't depend on who's sitting in Washington nearly as much as it depends on who's kneeling in prayer. So it depends on the men and women who refuse to bow to the false gods of popularity and pride and fear. And what I encouraged everybody this morning on Before the Noise is stop apologizing for your faith. And whether you say it out loud or the way you live it, some people are living apologetically. Don't soften the truth to make it more palatable. We live in an evil time, man. Don't hide your light because the world prefers the dark. Don't go along just to get along, because this country was built by people who believe that freedom and faith actually go hand in hand, and that moral courage and spiritual conviction are not optional. They're actually essential to everything we claim as conservatives to believe in this country. So if you want to see a renewal in this nation, it's got to start with some repentance in our own hearts, and start when we as, quote, believers decide that being faithful matters than being fashionable or comfortable. And being righteous is more important, and it matters more than being liked. So keep speaking the truth, man. Live out that grace, because the world doesn't need you to be perfect. It needs you to be authentic. And it needs people like us who are going to live what we claim to believe when it costs us some comfort and followers and approval and all of that. So, and I think when the dust settles, it's not going to be the loudest voices that save this country. It's going to be the faithful ones, the ones who refused to bend when the world was demanded that they bend, and the ones who believed that conviction still mattered, and the ones who knew that even in the chaos that there were essential things that they built their life on, like, for instance, Christ is King. And I think that's the message America needs to hear, and that's the message we need to be living out. You take that for what it's worth. I believe it, that's for sure. Let's talk about our friends over at Birch Gold. Text Chad to 989898. Get your retirement backed by physical gold. And you got that old savings account or old 401k sitting there, or you've got a retirement plan that's backed by a volatile stock market. Gold has gone through the roof. Can you imagine if you'd have listened to me a year and a half ago and put your savings backed by gold, what it would be doing right now? I mean, it's incredible how much it's gone up. So text Chad to 989898. The dollar is definitely being devalued, which means gold's going to go even higher. They'll send you a free no obligation information kit. They're not going to do a high pressure sales call with you. They just want to send you the information on how you can diversify in a tax sheltered IRA backed by gold. I'm encouraging you to do that. Birch Gold is the people I trust. A+ rating with a Better Business Bureau, tens of thousands of satisfied customers. So check them out and do me a favor. Our show needs them as a valued partner, and you help me tremendously by texting Chad to the number 989898. Please do that today. All right. Where's Party Foul Steve? You on here, boy? Bring him on.
I'm here. I'm waiting. Get this thing rolling. I just looked at gold prices for y'all. We are pushing 4,100 this morning.
Somebody asked what's silver at? It's over 40, right?
It's pushing 49 right now at this moment. It's right at the cusp, hitting 49.
Are you serious? Pushing 49?
Yep.
Man.
Insane.
I might have to go redeem some stuff. Actually, I won't.
Yeah. I'm on the verge. I need it to go up a little bit more before I want to double. I might sell some if I can double it.
Yeah, I told you guys I tipped my guy at the golf course the other day with a piece of gold. And Mark Wills, who was there, he goes, dude, that's cool. You just carry that stuff around. I was like, oh, I got it. And so I gave him like 4 pieces of silver, Felt like I was buying out Judas Iscariot or something. I was like, here, but give these to your grandkids or something. He's like, I ain't giving it to them. I'm going to keep it in my pocket.
That's I look at all the silver that I give grandkids over birthday, Christmas, and stuff like that. It's only 1 piece, but some of that I bought at $25 an ounce, and so it's already doubled in a couple of years.
Yeah, I see. L. Timmons 13 said, "I'm a silversmith, and the prices are killing me." I hadn't think about that, but I can appreciate that. If you're out there making silver jewelry or making anything out of silver, I bet those prices are wearing you out. But yeah, but wow. I mean, that's crazy. That's high, bro. And it just tells you it's scary because that just shows you how far down the dollar is. I mean, the dollar's worthless at this point. And anyway, all right. Yes. Hey, I want to get into this. Let me get back over to my notes a little bit. You guys, hopefully y'all are all doing well. I want to encourage everybody. We haven't done it in a while. Join our Make Wellness team. They have some incredible new products that are coming out, not to mention the sleep peptides, which are coming, which I was a part of their test program for that. It's amazing. That'll be out in November. You'll be able to get it. But definitely go over there and join our Make Wellness team. It pops up in the chat every now and then. And you can follow Party Foul Steve. If you go to watchchad.com, it will be at the very top of the homepage. I'm going to be in Dallas at the Dallas Comedy Club next weekend, I think, for a couple of nights. So come join me over there. And more of my schedules at watchchad.com. We'll see if Party Foul Steve will make the drive up to Dallas.
We'll see. I thought it was later in the month, but I could be wrong.
In the month. It is later in the month.
It is. Is it already later in the month?
It's the week. Well, it's on the 24th.
Oh, it's October 24th.
Yeah, 24th and 25th.
Okay.
So not next weekend, the weekend after that. So yeah. I know. Time's just flying by. I'm just hanging on for dear life, man. Speaking of hanging on for dear life, Christy Noem flew into Portland, Oregon yesterday, boots on the ground, to see what the Department of Homeland Security was doing with these terrorists, this terrorist organization, Antifa, which is protesting ICE and is a daily craziness every night. And David Medina, our man at David Medina PDX, our producer of this show, he was there with Secretary Noem, and I want to bring him on. David Medina, when you're ready, pull yourself.
Everybody get those flags going in, because this is some good stuff he's bringing up.
Let's go. Oh my gosh. Hold on.
While he's putting his ears on, let's get the flags going in the chat.
Get them going.
American flag. Get them going. Maybe some dancing bananas, too.
How's everybody doing, man? Chad Prather. What are you guys calling your army again?
Well, it's
I think
always been either the Fact Pack or the Prather Posse, but the Prather Posse is probably more universal these days. Yeah.
Hey, did y'all see my Mariners yesterday? By the way,
See your what?
my Mariners.
Mariners? Oh yeah, they did. They popped off, man.
They're about to close it out. Then they're going to play the winner of is it Houston? No, I'm just kidding. Blue Jays, and the Yankees, bro. The Mariners are looking good. They're going to win it all, man. I've been waiting my whole life for this, but I know. Sorry, that's just a side note because I know y'all are Houston fans, right?
Yeah, we are. But I'm sure. Isn't it Milwaukee they're playing?
Who?
Yeah.
Who are the Mariners playing?
Bro, Milwaukee's in the National League, Steve.
Oh, am I in the wrong league?
Yeah, they're playing the Tigers.
Oh, okay. That's who I'm rooting for. The whole thing is Milwaukee.
The Detroit Tigers. Yeah, guys, yesterday was crazy. I don't know if you saw some of the videos coming out. I was privileged enough to be with Benny Johnson, good friend of the show, good friend of mine, and he was just so gracious enough to invite us out, and we met him at the airport, and we met up with Secretary Noem. Man, it was actually a really inspiring day for us Portlanders. It was good to see a national spotlight finally shined on this corrupt city. It's actually a great city, and it's a beautiful city. The Democrats are right about that. But what they do is they stop there and they ignore all of the problems. Just like all the other blue cities, Chicago, they ignore the crime, the crazy crime rate. Portland has probably, I think, the top 2 national. It's higher than the national average, the crime rate in Portland. And so there's a lot of problems here. You saw business owners speak out on Fox News this morning talking about like this is the 10th time they've been broken into the other night. I mean, it's crazy. So I'm grateful to Secretary Noem and President Trump that they're actually finally shining a spotlight on what we've been dealing with for years here in the Northwest.
So let me ask you a couple questions. First of all, did you ever see anybody from, say, the Biden administration or anything like that come to Portland and try to bring a message of peace and stability that was there? Because we know that it's sort of been a stronghold of Antifa and a lot of leftist progressive activism for a while. Was this a message that she brought of stability and peace, or do you think that poured more gasoline on the fire in terms of the protesters?
Yeah, these radical so what people don't know about Portland is that there are a lot of common sense people here. I'm talking Democrats, Republicans who are tired. There's this like little group of radical Antifa. They do not make up the majority. They're a small what does Vivek say? The tyranny of the minority. That's basically what we're dealing with here in Portland. That small group has the city hostage, and these city leaders are either terrified of them or they're with them. I actually think some of them might actually be Antifa with them. But no, the Biden administration, when they would come here, and Kamala Harris would come here, they wouldn't even come into the city. They would stay in the hangar. They'd stay at the airport. They wouldn't even travel into the city, and which is crazy to me. So President Trump and Secretary Noem said, no, we're going straight into the heart of downtown Portland. We got to ride along with Secretary Noem's convoy. We were about 3 cars back from her. And with our amazing Secret Service agent, that was so crazy to see that. It's like so crazy. God, the way God works in people's lives is so crazy. I see what he's doing in your live chat. It's amazing. But we were with Secretary Noem's convoy, and we just went straight into the heart of downtown Portland. They nabbed 3 illegals in Oregon yesterday. One of them was a pedophile that I got to see Kristi Noem right up close talk to. And they nabbed him. He had crimes against children, Chad. Crimes against children, and he was let back out into the community by these radical left Democrats, all in the name of sanctuary and compassion. I think more people are waking up to this, though, and I'm really encouraged by that. And so their visit definitely opened a lot of eyes. It was awesome.
I saw that clip, and then I saw the one where the guy was asking her to let him go, and no, you gotta go. And I saw Andy No's report that, in spite of what all of the politicians are saying, that Portland's a peaceful place, that someone had died the night before. Is that, did you see that? Is that true?
Bro, people are dying like if not every day, every other day. There's a shooting. It's Portland. I mean, it's a smaller city than Chicago, but like per capita, if you look at it, I think I looked at the stats. Portland has a 200% higher crime rate than the national average.
Oh, wow.
We have homelessness. I have videos on my phone. We went through downtown Portland yesterday and just took videos. There's this one video that I should have had pulled up, but basically the video showed like a woman in her stroller, and there was literally a tweaker, crackhead, right in front of her. Like, and I have compassion for this man. I'm not making fun of this guy, but he was like moving his head around, tweaking out, and there's like a lady with a stroller. Perfect picture of 2 things. Perfect picture of what we're dealing with in Portland, but perfect picture of the complacency, because it's like, why aren't more of these people speaking out? And why is this lady like strolling her kid through drug row, And so, man, I'm grateful for people like you, Chad, who, I mean, I don't know if people don't know behind the scenes stuff, but you deciding to hire me and working with me and teaching me everything I've learned from you, is helping me better serve my community. So I thank you, brother. I know that you don't like that mushy stuff, but I do. And I love you.
I like it.
He's mushy.
Chad's a good dude. He's a good dude.
Yes.
Bless it. Well, I'm
You
glad
had
to
to see
see there's a lot of people who say, let's just, drop a nuke from orbit and just eradicate places like Portland or Seattle and all that. But I don't think that's the right,
No.
That's home for a lot of good people. And like I said, I've done a lot up there and over the years, and there's good people in Oregon, Washington, California. They get screwed by the bureaucracy and the crazy stuff. So I saw Kristi Noem. I know you got to go here in a minute, David, but just real quick, I know she was meeting with the city leaders and with the chief of police and those guys. What was their response to her? Like, I saw them praying before a meal and all of that, which is very encouraging. I mean, what was their response to her being there?
Yeah, so Kristi Noem was amazing, and she's just as beautiful in person. In South Park, you can make fun of her all you want. Usually when people make fun of your appearance, it's because they're jealous. Right. Kristi Noem is gorgeous. I gotta just a behind the scenes thing. Yeah, she's gorgeous. But I was there when she was talking to Chief Bob Day, the Portland Police Chief, who owns a DEI consulting firm, by the way. Thought I'd throw that in there. And I know people tell me he's a big, people know him personally that have talked to me and said, David, he's a great, the police chief is a great devout Christian man. I'm like, well, look what he did. Look what they're doing in Nick's order. Look what they're doing with not assisting our federal officers, our brave men and women of ICE. So he may be a Christian man, but he needs to find his courage and stop playing politics, stop going on CNN, and I told them I'm not going to apologize for calling him out because we're having problems. We don't have time to sing Kumbaya. I don't care if he's a Christian man. That's great. He's going to heaven. He's going to be with Jesus one day. Great. But he is failing his city. But Chief Day, I got to talk to him a little bit after that. And he seemed more optimistic, unlike the Portland mayor who walked out of that meeting with Kristi Noem looking pissed. I mean, he was pissed. And he did not, I don't think he liked how the meeting went. I wasn't able to catch him to talk to him. He walked right by me. But Kristi Noem came in and she was not messing around. She was in there, saying things like, and I wasn't able to be in the room, but from what I heard afterwards, she was in there saying things like, we're not putting up with this. And President Trump's not putting up with this. And we're just so grateful to have an administration that actually cares about us over here. And it cares enough to send their DHS secretary over and to be with us. It really inspired a lot of people yesterday.
Yeah, that's good. She's a bulldog, that's for sure. And she is, I've been with Kristi. She's been on a show a number of times, and I've been with her in South Dakota and some other places. Yeah. And they actually did offer me a job to be a part of what she's doing, and I said no.
You've been offered a lot of jobs in DC, bro, and I think what I know about you, bro, is that you've been following like God's call in your life, and that needs to be an encouragement to everybody, and it's an encouragement to me, Chad. You've had, since I've been working with you, since June, you've had a lot of offers from like DC and like big media, and you just keep turning them down. And then look like you just got the deal with Rumble. It's just so crazy, bro. Like God is totally blessing your faithfulness. I love that you don't just jump on those things like a lot of people.
We just rock and roll, baby.
Rock and roll, baby.
We wake up in a new world every day. Hey, listen, I know you're busy. Jump off. Be safe, David. I've been praying for you. You're my buddy, and whatever you got going today, just be safe.
Yeah, man, I'll talk to you after the show. And you guys blow up the freaking chat for Chad. Share his video. Share everything that he's doing because he's actually making a difference and he's keeping the Lord first and foremost. So blow up the freaking chat. Party foul, get them going, man.
I got it going. Dancing bananas. Let's get the dancing bananas. I hate to say that because nobody but Rumble has the dancing bananas. So people on YouTube, Facebook don't have that. So throw whatever your favorite emoji is.
People are listening on podcast or on audio podcast. They're like, what in the world is a dancing banana?
Hey, Chad, also, I've got a few messages overnight asking about Spotify. Is there any anything?
So here's what happened. So we were on. So when your podcast, the audio podcast is on what's called an RSS feed, and you have to have somebody that carries your RSS feed. So because of our relationship with Rumble, we moved from Megaphone over to a company called Libsyn, and Spotify is having a hard time uploading my show to from Libsyn. So we're loading it on Libsyn, like it'll go to Apple Podcasts, iHeart, it goes to all the places. But it's having a hard time registering. It's a behind-the-scenes deal with Spotify it's Spotify's fault. Is that, let me just summarize it. It's Spotify's fault. But they are supposed to be working on that, and it's frustrating. The show is actually on Spotify. It's just not on my channel, which means it's out in the ether somewhere impossible to find. And I sent them another message yesterday telling them to get that fixed up, and they have not done it yet. So anyway.
All right. Well, thank you for the update on that. But
Yeah.
that'll answer a few questions for some people. But they still went and found you on other platforms, so that's great.
Yeah, we're in a lot of places, and I saw somebody say, turn the mic up. Turn your volume up. How about that?
There you go. Turn it up. Get up
Turn
in
your
that mic,
volume up.
Chad.
I mean, it's up as high. It's pretty high. I mean, I go back and listen to like before the noise. Sometimes we don't have control over that either. I mean, you are in your studio. I'm in my studio. David's in his studio, and sometimes the program through which we run these streaming programs aren't always the nicest with how this gets translated into your ear holes or your screens. Somebody said a little while ago, my lighting makes me look orange. It could be your screen, or I could just be orange.
You were a little orange this morning.
I mean, it's a dark. I keep the room a little darker for before the noise. That's for sure. Just a little darker, and so sometimes that's the way it translates. Plus, it is what it is. You're not watching Fox News, so suck it up. No, seriously, I appreciate the feedback. Yeah, if you guys knew what level of shoestring budget we do these things on. I will say this. I mean, he who tooteth not his own horn remains in a perpetual state of untootedness. I have turned down a lot of offers over the years, honestly, to go with a lot of different deals. And, although I was on the Blaze for, 5 or 6 years, being independent is where I want to be. And I don't make the money that a lot of people make out there doing what we do. And I don't have the audience that a lot of people have. I could, that's for sure. I could do a lot of the same things, but I felt a little bit like I was selling my soul. Because I'll tell you.
You get to do what you want to do.
Yeah. And
being
I've
independent. And I get to be here.
Yeah. Well, and I know there's, people, it is what it is. I'll make, God's going to take care of me in that regard. But I feel like you gotta be strong, man. Keep on rocking and be who you are. The biggest compliment, what I was going to say, is that anybody can give me is that I'm authentic and genuine, and that's really kind of who I want to be. And so hopefully that's what translates. But David's doing a good work, man. Let me talk to you about our friends over at Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile, go to patriotmobile.com/Chad and check them out. If you are a veteran or a first responder or a active duty military member, they'll give you free activation. And if you use promo code CHAD, I spell it Chad, they will give you also the first month's free. So go to Patriot Mobile. They are the only Christian conservative wireless provider out there. They use the same cell towers as the big three, which means that you're going to get the same dependable coverage. The difference is you don't have to worry about them sending a portion of your bill to fund the leftist progressive causes like the big three do. So check them out, patriotmobile.com. They've got the bundle or the plan that will fit you, and they will do whatever they can to help you, and I promise you it's affordable to fit your budget. Call them like their 100% U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT, but go to patriotmobile.com/Chad and use them at promo code Chad. Dun, 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 dun. People are funny. They say, you look orange to me, too. Or Trevor Taylor just said you're 5 decibels lower than Steven and David. I want you guys to look me dead in the eye when I say, I don't care. I don't care. All of you directors out there, I don't care. And, rock and roll, man. The Portland's crazy, man. I mean, and the thing is, the reason we keep talking about it is if they want to, that could pop off in any city in America.
Yeah, that could. I think I think we're headed there at some point.
You
have Texas National Guard going into. Are they going to Chicago? Already there?
Yeah, the Texas folks are there and headed up there, and so they.
And
I mean, they were shooting people in Dallas 2 weeks ago. So, I mean, it can happen in any city in America. What were you going to say?
Why do they pull another state's National Guard to go up to another state? Is that so
'Cause
they
they
don't
don't
have to
have
beat
them.
up and arrest their kinfolk or something?
It's just because they don't have them, or they won't deploy them, and they're sending in more. You know, I mean, like whenever we were having issues at the southern border in Texas, Ron DeSantis and a number of other states were sending theirs to us.
Okay.
So, you know, you got to remember the National Guard, that's a volunteer army. You know, it's a volunteer militia that's run by the state and federal government. So, you know, that's, yeah. No, I already did it. Yeah, it's okay. David's in my ear asking questions. It's all good. But
I was like, what?
Yeah, we're already there. David's busy, man. He's got a riot going on in his city. He's got a lot going on. He's got a lot happening. Did you see that video, Steve, of the guy who came in holding the name change certificate because he had changed his name to his wife's last name?
No, I have not seen that.
Bro, I'm telling you, the world we're living in has gone absolutely jackass insane. The reason I keep calling people back to some sense and semblance of not only critical thinking, but some level of foundational morality. I mean, basically, you got a dude who's married to this girl. He goes and he gets his name changed so he can now have her last name instead of traditionally the other way around. And I'm like, this is just a video with two lesbians in it. That's all this is.
Well, yeah, I want to know what was his purpose in? Did he have a purpose or just
He's a beta soy limp-wristed cuck.
Okay.
The bottom
I didn't
line
know
is
if he
the
had like
woman
a
was in
horrible
control.
if you had like a horrible last name that had 36 letters in it, and you're
No.
like, hey, I just want to be Smith.
Yeah, no, that's him wanting to be subservient to his wife. And you got in the comments, you got the people that are going F the patriarchy and good for you and way to go and this is what a real man looks like. And then you got other people going, there's literally zero testosterone in that video.
Yeah, that's one of those things that I don't care what they do.
No,
Go change your name to whatever
you want. You're an idiot. And that's when I go back to when I was saying that, when we accidentally fell into the Me Too rally that time in Colorado.
Yeah.
And you always have those dudes just walking a little bit behind the woman.
3 steps behind.
Just subservient,
Head
and I'm
down.
like, man, just ridiculous. Or these guys that have that these skinny guys with their backpacks on and they're carrying the baby formula and they're just walking around with their little spectacles on, And it's like these little wormy dudes that look like they're one bite of granola away from overdose in aisle 3 of the Whole Foods. Like these people are just like jaundiced. They're so unhealthy looking, but they're the ones who are out hiking and walking and they've got their LL Bean on. And I'm like, okay, bro, you are weak, man. I mean, like I didn't know varicose was a color, but here you are. I mean, it's just disgusting to see these dudes. There's no red blood in them. It's sick.
Yeah. The thing about it is, like, I'm so happy that my last name carries on because it would have died with me and then it would have died with my son. Now he has 2 sons, so that our last name carries on. And I think that's all, I'm not going to leave I'm not going to leave fortunes to my children, but I'll leave them hopefully leave them a good last name that's honorable.
And it is biblical. A righteous man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. That's not just money, that's name, that's reputation, that's legacy. It's a good story. It's all of those things, something that you can claim and remember. It's a legacy. And you know what I had for dinner last night, Steve?
Chinese food.
No. What do you think I really had for dinner last night?
What did you really have for little filet?
Yep, I had ribeye.
Ribeye. All right.
I'm a meat eater. And you know what I had for breakfast this morning before the noise?
Leftover ribeye. I sliced it up, threw it in the olive oil on the stove, and had steak and eggs this morning. You know what? We live in a world where even our diet has been feminized. I mean, even these dudes out there. I mean, people are like, well, you're gonna have a heart attack. Yeah, as a man. Not as some wussified, limp-wristed, fingernail painting, toenail painting. And what is with this freaking trend of dudes, even straight dudes, painting their toenails? You're not avant-garde. You're not cool. You're not edgy. You look like a freaking weirdo. Unless you got 8 daughters that you're sitting around on the couch and they trying to because that's different. But if you're going to the nail salon, okay, I'll let you get a pedicure. I can go with that because there's nothing wrong with good, nice, clean feet with good trimmed toenails. But you're gonna get paint on them, and because I go get pedicures, and a girl always asks, "Would you like me to polish or buff?" I'm like, just buff them a little. That's as far as I'll go.
I was playing golf recently with some friends of mine, and one of my buddies who's a professional poker player. I'm not gonna call him out. If he happens to listen to this show, he'll know who you are. He knows who he is already. And he like takes his golf shoes off, his socks off there at the truck at the end. He's getting in his car. He puts his golf bag in. He puts his flip flops on. He got a full blown toenail. He got designs on him. And I'm like, stop with the gayness. Stop it. It's not cool, man. Like, what is it with you dudes? Like these musicians that want to paint their nails. Stop it. You're like, but everybody should just be. No, stop it.
Yeah, they just got to stand out and be weird.
You don't have. I'm like you're not Alice Cooper. You're not Kiss, for crying out loud. You play for $200 at a corner bar, and you call yourself being a part of the music industry, and you think you're edgy by painting your toenails. Stop it, you weirdo.
That's a look at me society. Look at me. You won't look at me. I'm gonna do something you'll look at me for. Please look at me.
I'm telling you. I mean, again, I'm with you. I think foot health. Let's talk about foot health. You should do that. You should do that. Keep your feet healthy. Go get a pedicure. I don't care. Do I? No. But I have. But ain't nobody painting my toes. Stop it. And I can tell you what you people are like, men can do whatever they want. Not work a real job, they can't. And I say that as a dude who's not only worked a real job, but I sit on my ass talking for a living, but I still go out and work. I still do things. You do too. We still get involved with manual labor. We take care of things. You can't paint your nails all up and then go out there and act like you're going to be a real man. I just tell you this. If I'm in a foxhole and the jihadis are coming down the road and they're shooting at me, I don't want to be in that ditch with some dude that painted his toenails.
Yeah. All of my friends they all work 12, 13, 14-hour days. Most of them 6, 7 days a week.
8 days a week.
They make fun of me because I don't have a real job, but they don't have time to get a pedicure or manicure or anything else. They're trying to feed their family. They're just, real Americans out there doing their job.
And for years I got famous talking about people's feet called making fun of them. And people talking about, oh my God, Chad loves feet. No, I don't. They're like, you really do love feet. No, I don't. Keep them nasty ass things to yourself. I see Linda talking about that second long bossy toe. That's when you don't ever marry a woman with a second long bossy toe. She'll kill you with that thing. Got a second brain hanging off the end of that flip flop, just dragging her around. Got a callus on the tip where it's been dragging on the asphalt all day long. That second toe. Feet are nasty, man. I don't care. I got cute feet. No, you don't. I got cute feet. No such thing. Doesn't exist.
But if I have to have feet around me, I want a pedicure. If I have to have feet around me, I want it pedicured. I want them painted. I want them soft and smooth. I'm
looking over here at the screen over here. I can see myself. I'm looking orange.
I got the bright lights up in front of me. They kind of like shine up like crazy.
Man, you know who texted me the other day is Chris Kyle, the late Chris Kyle's father, and Wayne and Debbie and Jeff and all the family. I love them. They're like family to me, and I love them. And Wayne Kyle texted me. He said, I just finished your book, Born for Meaning, and he said it really because that family has. They still grieve. I mean, they still heavily grieve over the loss of Chris. And he said the book really spoke to me in my heart in a lot of places. And he said you did good on this. And so that was a huge blessing to hear somebody like Wayne, who is a real man, who read this book. And he said, this was good. So I'm thankful for that endorsement. Thank you, Wayne, for sending that message. It just blessed my heart. And that was good. So, yeah, we just got to get. You want to inspect my feet? Hang on.
Let's see them.
I can't get it up there.
Yeah, I can't get mine up either. Plus, I have socks on. I got socks. I have to wear socks, sweatpants in this house because it's 64 degrees.
There it is.
Look at you. You're wearing short bitches. You got cute feet. Look at them little
my little Fred
toes.
Flintstones.
Yeah.
My little Fred Flintstones.
What do you wear, about size 7?
Boy, stop it.
You ever seen a big old man with tiny feet? It's funny looking.
We saw somebody recently had like size 6s.
Yeah.
No, I wear an 11 and a half. 11 and a half. It's not a huge foot. It's You know what I hate? You know what else I hate while I've got this? While we're talking, just getting things off our chest today, and you guys are just sitting here wasting time with us. I hate group text messages.
I get myself out of it, all of them, except for the one that we have with you and David, but I'm in a few others that I put it on do not disturb or silent.
But our leadership groups with Make Wellness,
yeah,
there's like 3 big ones, and those women go nonstop. Yeah. Those women, I mean, if you could see my phone, I'm going to show you. My phone has 48 new text messages just in the last 10 minutes. 49. They're just counting up. It's just popping up on my screen over here, and right here, there's 50. Watch this. Watch this, Steve. Watch this. Hang on.
Another one.
This. Hang on. There's 51. There's 52. There's 53. Oh, there's 54.
They're probably watching the show, just messing with you, going, because all of our Make Wellness teams, most of them watch our show.
You know what they do, though? They got nonstop conference calls and Zoom calls. They do this. And then they got all this stuff. And then you have these women that want to, if somebody else message something, and then they all want to hit heart.
Well, that's an acknowledgement. There's nothing worse than sending a text message and not getting, you see it's been read, but no acknowledgement, Chad.
You don't have to, I don't believe you have to be acknowledged. You just tell something.
I understand that, because I am blessed that you have it where I can see that you read it. That's a good enough acknowledgement for me.
Can you see that I read it?
Yeah. You have it, your phone set.
Oh, I'm turning that off.
I need you to leave it that way.
You want to leave it that way?
Yeah, just leave it that way. That way I know that you
the red receipts, I always try to turn off the red receipts. There's this book, Josh Howerton. Pastor Josh Howerton, he's got a book that he was talking about. It's not his book, but he was talking about a book on his show. My buddy Clint Avance sent me. Clint used to be the merchandise manager for Aaron Watson. And he was talking, he sent me this clip of Josh Howerton talking about a book that they released in 1987 called After the Ball. And it's how America will conquer its fear and hatred of gays in the 1990s. It's by Marshall Kirk and Hunter Madsen. Sorry, it was 1989. And so I looked this book up, and I was looking through some summaries of it. Now, again, it's a book about society overcoming fear and hatred of gays, right? Now, what it was an agenda that they wrote talking about weak dudes that want to take their wives' last names and all this kind of stuff. That's gay. But they wanted to write a book that talked about how to, it was basically a strategy and an approach to use techniques akin to advertising and public relations and propaganda in order to change the narrative and reduce any stigma. So they were actually engaged in a sense of deliberate persuasion. And let me tell you how they did it. This was back in 1989. So desensitization, the authors urge repeated exposure to gay people and gay themes in media, conversation, and everyday life so that homosexuality becomes normalized and less emotionally charged. Which, again,
that's exactly what they're doing with trans right now. We see it everywhere.
Thank you. That's exactly what they're doing.
In 10 years from now, trans will be normal in everyday society in every aspect of it.
And this is why I'm bringing this whole thing up, because you'll always see it. And then you're right. I see.
Because being gay is no longer really considered, used to it was considered mental illness. It's not even, they've changed how they classify.
But beyond that, it's even more insidious than that. Because I see some of you in the strategy that talks about the jamming strategy, which they do. They talk about jamming by introducing conflict, emotional cues. For example, combining a sympathetic portrayal of a gay individual, this is in the media or Hollywood or whatever, with less friendly imagery of bigotry to force cognitive dissonance in the public's mindset.
Yeah.
And then portrayal of victims, you can imagine what that is. Selective imagery and mainstreaming. So you present respectable gays and lesbians in public images. And that's why I like, even today, every commercial's got to have a gay couple in it, whatever. And then the born gay narrative, they counsel using the idea that homosexual orientation is inherent, not a choice, as a rhetorical strategy, even if the science is uncertain, because it undercuts arguments that gays can choose or change. And then they muddied the moral waters. The authors suggest encouraging ambiguity or relativism about traditional moral objections, especially religious ones, highlighting support from moderate religious voices and raising doubts about rigid anti-gay positions. So you're right. You see where this is going. And so then they provided a guidance to nonviolent protest, being willing to be arrested and carefully linking actions to the cause in clear communicative ways. And they recommended exposing instances of bigotry, intolerance, or hypocrisy among anti-gay critics, thereby reducing their credibility. So basically, Kirk, the person who wrote this, Marshall Kirk, he was a neuropsychologist, and then Hunter Madsen, he was a public relations consultant. So that's what they did. That's what they did. And now you're seeing it with the trans stuff. You're seeing it with the toxic masculinity stuff, the apex femininity stuff, which is, Nazi feminism. And so, yeah, it's... The strategies have never changed, man. Yeah. So that's why we're inundated with this.
It's like the L, G, and the B. I could see, hey, you were born that way. But when you're trans, you weren't born that way.
I mean, you got to start manipulating things in order to match on the outside what you claim to feel on the inside.
Yeah.
And this is why I said at the beginning of the program, if you missed that little opening monologue, this is why I said we're at a moral crossroads. Now, I love everybody. I don't care who you are. I don't really care what you do. But I will not talk to you about love without talking to you about truth. Because love without truth is not compassionate at all. That's actually patting you on the back on your way to destruction. Now, you can hate me all you want, but see, that's the only reason you do that is because you've been conditioned to do it through the crap that I just told you about through this marketing campaign that's been around now for 40 years. So again, we're at this moral crossroads where Hollywood has normalized sin, schools have redefined morality, and churches have diluted doctrine and true teaching, and then anybody that dissents, any dissenter is going to be shamed or silenced. So if you talk about shame or sin and repentance, now you have to replace that with the language of affirmation and pride. There's a specific reason they use the word pride there. And so, you look at Romans chapter 1, which is sort of like an obituary of culture that followed out this playbook when it says they exchanged the truth of God for a lie and worshiped and served the creature rather than the creator. And so now we're in this moral revolution, And that's why people can go to the streets and start a chaotic riot and these kind of things and feel justified in doing it. Actually even call it compassion because of this moral relativism where, they've bought into the propaganda.
Yeah, and the more that stuff is shown on TV, the more it's going to happen. The more it just builds and builds and builds. Whether it be the riots, whether it be the trans, whatever it is they put out there on your screen in front of our faces all the time.
That's right. That's right.
It becomes normal. Big giant riots in front of ICE things. That's becoming normal.
Yeah, I mean it is, and that's why I say people say, "Why are you talking about Portland so much?" And so that's
we might be helping the cause.
Well, that's why I say it could happen in any city that we're living in, and the church, Christians, believers have got to stand up. I mean, I don't know that anybody from a professional level quite understands the sacrifice, if you will, that I'm making to use my platforms to say the things that I'm trying to say right now. When, I was talking to Matt Pittman this morning, our buddy that started Meat Church Seasonings. I was on the phone with him. And like all of our friends, they always say, what I love is back when you used to sit in the truck and just talk about things. And I was like, yeah, I loved that too.
Yeah.
But then they came after me. And sitting in the truck wasn't enough. That was
a safe space in the truck, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I was like, they censored me for doing that. They censored me for doing everything else. They came after me. And in the aftermath, I wound up on lists. I wound up persecuted. I wound up with death threats and all those kind of things. And it's like, I could go back and sit in the truck. I got dogs that'll sit in the back seat real easily while I pontificate on the observational, humorous things that happen in life. And those are fun. But we're living in the aftermath of a cultural coup. And I'm like, I got to use my platform to try to bring some people back to critical thinking and some truth. I love the idea of going out and being funny for a living, but I'm not really motivated to do that right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
but I do think there's so many people out there that kind of feel the same way, but they don't have that voice, and you're giving that voice to them. You're saying the things that they can't go into their workplace and say, and then they think about it and they think, well, maybe I'm wrong for thinking this way. But when when you say it, kind of confirms that, okay, I'm not going insane.
Yeah. I love somebody. Ashley mentioned the Kiki challenge.
I don't know. The last time I checked, it was about 40 million views.
That was crazy, wasn't it?
That's been about 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't have those moves anymore.
Yeah. That's funny. The Kiki challenge. I called you up that morning and I said, hey, we're going to do something fun. And there it was.
Yeah. I wish we would have left the music out of it so it wouldn't get copyrighted.
Yeah. Well, back then, wasn't a problem.
Yeah.
Back then, that wasn't a problem. Then that started becoming an issue. They accused you of stealing music and all that, and whatever. You can't have any fun online anymore, man. You can't say words online. You get censored nonstop. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. All right, Party Foul Steve, give them a final word, and then I'm going to give them a final word.
Oh, my goodness. Are we at the end of the show already?
We are, brother.
So fast. What is today? Today is Wednesday. So I will see y'all tomorrow. Follow me on all social media at Party Foul Steve. Join my Make Wellness team. There's a link on all of my pages.
Yeah. Go follow him. Go do it. Oh, Jimmy Rogers and Lindsey Rogers joined your team. They're going to be.
Oh, they're killing it already.
They are literally with you, baby.
You talking about? I want motivated people on my team. I've got a few deadbeats on my team. I don't even want you there. You're not even trying. I follow you on social media. I don't see anything Make Wellness on there. Get after it. There's money to be made. I paid a car payment last month. Do it.
Come on. That's what I'm talking about. All right, buddy. I love you. I'll holler at you here in a minute.
Love you.
I love you. All right. Let's see here. Party Foul Steve, I appreciate that dude so much, man. He's just rocking and rolling. And trying to figure out what I want to tell you.
Still here. I ain't went anywhere.
Well, hang on. Let me knock you off of that.
Are you doing that?
Remove you from the scene. I'm trying to do it, but you kept coming back. Got it. All right. I'm trying to hit buttons. We are, I will say this, as something I said a minute ago. We are living in the aftermath of a cultural coup. And it didn't come with tanks or treaties. It kind of came with the television shows and the slogans and these carefully crafted scripts and PR moves. And what became, or I should say what began as entertainment became indoctrination. And as I said, we've got Hollywood that normalized sin and schools that redefined morality and churches that diluted the doctrine. And through it all, anybody that dared to dissent, they get silenced, right? And the result is we have a nation that no longer blushes at evil. We laugh at what once made us weep. We celebrate what was something once that broke our hearts. And worst of all, we call it progress. And I hate that. Hollywood didn't simply reflect culture. It remade it. And that's why we push back against stuff like that. It took rebellion and wrapped it in a very charming voice. It turned vice into virtue through laughter and music and beauty. And, the sitcoms have always mocked fatherhood, and the movies mocked purity, and the music mocks God. It was subtle at first, and the storylines, shifted and the heroes changed, and the forbidden became fashionable. This is why somebody asked me the other day, they said, are you watching such and such on Netflix? I said, I don't have Netflix because I realized what was going on long ago. They have an agenda. And before long in our society, when we keep allowing these things into our heads and into our homes, what Scripture called shameful becomes the punchline of every late night joke. So sin is no longer sin. It was self-expression, and lust is liberation, and pride is power. So the devil does not always roar. Sometimes he sings, right? And, you got the schools where the textbooks are replacing truth with tolerance and not biblical tolerance either. That loves sinners enough to confront sin. But I'm talking about a counterfeit tolerance that silences conviction, where children were no longer taught how to think, but what to think. And then you have morality that's rewritten in the language of psychology and identity and inclusion. And teachers become evangelists for relativism. You know, the word sin itself is replaced with mistake. The word truth is replaced with perspective. And so from kindergarten to college, we have a generation that's been discipled into confusion, learning to question everything but their own desires. And perhaps the most devastating betrayal came from within the sanctuary itself. When the world demanded silence, too many pulpits just obliged. And so in an effort to be relevant, we became redundant. And in the name of love, we abandoned truth. We turned sermons into self-help talks and worship into performance and conviction into comfort. And the message shifted from repent for the kingdom of heaven is at hand to relax, you're already enough. And we started marketing grace without any repentance and offering salvation without surrender. And the gospel becomes declawed and domesticated, and it gets drained of any power. And through it all, the language of sin and repentance was replaced by the language of affirmation and pride, as I said before. Now, those of us who have tried to sound that alarm, we've been dismissed as judgmental. We're bigoted, right? We're the prophets that we're called intolerant. The watchmen are told to tone it down, and the faithful are told to just love people, as if love and truth were opposites. They're not. I've already told you that Romans 1 says they exchanged the truth of God for a lie and worshiped and served the creature rather than the creator. And that's exactly what we've done. We've traded divine revelation for self-definition. We've built altars to identity and called it authenticity. We've bowed before the God of the mirror and called that enlightenment. And so what began as a media strategy became a moral revolution. And now, here we are. Sin is normalized, righteousness is radicalized, and truth is criminalized. Hollywood, they gave us the script, the schools rehearsed it, and the churches performed it. Sad. And the tragedy is not that the world rejects God. The tragedy is that the church stopped confronting the world with his word. The good news is this: silence isn't our destiny. The church can still speak again. You can speak again. So when you look at guys like Kirk and Madsen in the book they wrote back in 1989, they might have conquered America's fear and hatred, but they also conquered her discernment. Because after the ball, that book that I'm talking about was not a relic of the 1900s. It was the blueprint for how to reshape a nation's soul, and it worked. But propaganda doesn't save people. Only truth can do that. So what we got to do now is do what manipulation can't do, and that's tell the truth in love. Resist the temptation to fight emotion with emotion and replace outrage with courage and confusion with clarity and fear with faith. Because the battle, it's never been about sexuality or ideology. It's about authority, and that's ultimately who defines truth. Is it God or man? So the gospel doesn't desensitize, it awakens. It doesn't jam up, it frees. It does not manipulate, it transforms. So let's get our culture back, folks. That's what I want to do, because we've believed in too many lies. And it's time that we speak truth even louder, not with anger, but with conviction. And not with any compromise, but with compassion. Because we're not called to be liked. We're called to be light. And we're not called to fit in. We're called to stand out. And I think you know where I'm going with all of that stuff. So let's get it back, man. Let's get it back. If you want to join me here in about an hour, I'm going to be on with my friend Chloe Castillo and Chris Macchio on our webcast for Make Music Right. We're going to be talking about getting values and foundational values back into music, which is what our organization Make Music Right is all about. We've got some really big people that are on board listening to what we're saying in these days about the music industry. And so we're going to have a webcast here. You can go over to my Instagram, look in the stories there, and you go through my story, you'll see my link there that you can go over there to it. And I'd love it if you guys jumped on and joined. You can follow Chloe Castillo. The link is over on hers as well. And we're going to do a little webcast here in about an hour. We'll see if we can get some people on here. All right. Click like, click subscribe, leave us a rating and review. Join me for Before the Noise in the mornings. Go over to where podcasts are offered. Leave a review for the Chad Prather Show as well as Before the Noise. And, yeah, do all the good things. WatchChad.com is where all the fun stuff is. Remember our folks at Birch Go. Text Chad to 989898, as well as go to patriotmobile.com/Chad. And leave me a comment down below and hit that thumbs up button. Let's see how many text messages. I am now at 108 text messages, folks. Woo, boy, Hallelujah. Hallelujah. For Party Foul Steve and David Medina, follow them on social media. I will talk to you tomorrow morning. Hopefully I'll see you over on the webcast here in about an hour. I love y'all. God bless you. And we'll talk to you before the noise. Until then.